It's a great pleasure. I've been asked to introduce Vanessa Hodgkinson, who did an amazing job at conference. Well done. Very inspirational. She recently achieved, well, how long ago did you achieve gold? Period 12 last year, almost a year ago, achieved the level of gold distributorship. Background, she's married to Mark and has 4 children under the age of 10. Joined in October 2007. First cheque was for £147 in her first 4 weeks. Best cheque, £3,400. Amazing. Overseas conferences, she's qualified for Miami in period 7. Special achievements, top distributor for the Premier Group in 2011. Top retailer period 2 and period 5 in the Terrier Group, which is Gavin Scott's group. And having our hubby Mark in the business as they're now working together as a team, 4 years in the making, and are working towards the same goals. So Miami is the first conference of many to come. Oh, right, sorry. And could everybody switch their phones off, please?
Hi everybody, nice to be here and thanks very much for Lynn for inviting me up today. A bit nervous, so just bear with me. I've been in the clean easy business, as I said, from 2007 and it's been a huge roller coaster, and that's why the title is Life is a Roller Coaster, because I think everybody goes through that from day one. This is my reason why. These are my 4 children. As you can see, they're still quite little. Kerry's at the bottom, she's 2 years 8 now. And she's a handful, she's going through toilet training at the minute, so you can imagine what I'm going through with that one. And the middle one's Joshua, he's 6. Tom is 9, and Alice is 10, but she's going on 20 at the moment, so I've got hormones kicking off at home at the minute. So they're all at different stages. I started the business when I had 3 children, and you know it's been quite tough at times, as you can imagine, trying to do any business. But I'll tell you my story, and hopefully you'll be able to get some tips and ideas, and it'll help you along your journey. Well, so my business started in 2007. Before Clean Easy, it was quite tough for me. I was brought up on a council estate with my mum and dad, and the mum and dad split up, and I was literally going from mum and dad's place. I got into the round crowd, and we were mixing with different people, my friends and I, and we used to talk about where we wanted to go in life, really, when I was young, 16, 17. And they said there wasn't anywhere really for us on the council estate. There was no future, you're living in a pipe world, dream world, and there's nowhere to go. And I knew what I wanted out of life, and that I wanted a nice life and enjoy life. And so I thought, well, they all got into all sorts of bad things, drinking and drugs and things like that. And I thought, this isn't the life for me. So I decided to detach myself from that situation. Even though my dad had split up, I knew what I wanted to do. I was mixing with the wrong people, and I needed to do something about it. So I got out of this situation. I started working, left school and did lots of clerical work. Got into accountancy and just kept focusing on what I really wanted out of life. Because I knew there was things that we can all have and achieve. You just got to go out and get them. So I started doing clerical work, and the accountancy took over that. And I worked, quite long hours and focused on the things that I wanted to achieve, which was at the time I set myself goals, and we always talk about goals. And at that early age, at 18, 19, I had my own goals of basically just going on a holiday every year. That was my treat. And basically things started to change. I started mixing with positive people, getting good incomes from my job. And for things to change, really you need to change. And those were the early lessons for me. I changed friends, become more positive, mixed with positive people. My job was secure because I was working really hard at it and I got recognised within that job. And I also caddied at weekends as well. So I worked full time and then I caddied at weekends just to get the extra income to pay for my bills and pay for the holidays that I wanted to go on. But every now and again I went back to where I used to live. And a lot of my friends hadn't moved on, you know, years after I developed my confidence as well. And my income. I had my own house, flat and a car, and I used to have regular holidays and mixed with loads of positive people. And every now and again I went back to the council estate where my mum still lives today. And my friends, even now, still haven't moved on. They thought then that, you know, getting a council house, having a baby and getting a council house was the step up a ladder. And I thought, well, there's more to life than that. I mean, I've got 4 kids now, but I had them when I was ready for them. So that, you know, it's quite sad, but people do stay where they've always been. And if you don't change, you know, what you're doing, you're never going to get anything. You're just going to have the same you've always had. So that's important. The golf, for me, was great because I caddied for quite a few millionaires at our golf and country club. And my dad caddied there, my brother caddied there, and they used to say to me, well, if you want that extra income, you want to have that extra holiday, why don't you work doing the caddying? So I used to caddy every Saturday, every Sunday for these guys, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed going out for the walks in the weather. Was a bit put off, as you imagine, with Clean Easy. I mean, it's been great for me now, but then I used to think, what am I doing this for? You know, but I knew I was getting that extra income from doing that as well. And I thought, well, it's going to pay for my holiday, my car, and my bills and everything, and I just kept focused. Did that for about 11 years, and then I kept on seeing all these positive people with all these big cars and fantastic holidays they were always talking about. And I thought, I'd want a piece of that. You know, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, but there must be an easier way, you know. So I used to ask them, basically, how did you make your money? And they used to say they kept focused. They had a plan. You know, they took risks, basically. They were driven by money, and they were very self-motivated. So, you know, and that's for everybody in this room today. We all need those qualities, really, to move your business forward. So, yeah, to have all these things does really help your business grow. So those tips that I got and the inspiration from these people that I worked with for 11 years started me off on that road. And then, you know, I carried on doing that for those 11 years. And then in 1998, I met my husband, Mark. And I met him in a paper, actually. I put an advert in and I was busy. I had 4 jobs, actually, at the time, because I wanted to earn the money and carry on earning and achieving, really. But obviously doing all those things takes a lot of time, so I wasn't socialising with the right people to a certain level because I wasn't meeting a partner that I wanted to settle down with or whatever. And I put an ad in the paper for a guy. Sounds a bit sad, but everyone uses the internet a lot today, don't they? And I met him, and he was everything I was looking for, really. I knew what I wanted then. You know, I wanted someone who was quite ambitious, that was single, had his own place, loved 80s music and various things that I liked, and they had the qualities that I was looking for. And I chose him because I was meeting lots of different people that were just either wanting me for my money, they knew I had a car, they knew I had my own place, and I was an easy ride, as they thought, and I wasn't having that because I worked hard for what I got. So it was great. That was our journey. So we started going out with each other. And then within the year and a half, we got married. He was a business consultant, so then he was working away quite a lot, Monday to Friday. And I just concentrated on my accounts work, dropped a few of the other jobs. I kept a New Look job because I had lots of friends there, so I worked a New Look, which was just a clothes shop. Still mixing with different people. Stopped the caddying then at that point, and I was just doing the accounts work and that, which is enough, don't you think, to keep going. So I just... you know, had this relationship with this new guy, stayed with him for, you know, a long time, and obviously we got married. We got married in Maui. We both earned good money then, but I had at the start 4 jobs and he had the 1 job. And then we decided to get married, went to Maui, and we started a family. So I was in my 30s, early 30s when I started a family. So I got the guy I wanted, but I didn't really have the lifestyle that I wanted. So we used to put all the money in the pot and decide we wanted to travel. So we travelled and we saw lots of fantastic places, and Maui was one of them. We travelled for about 3 weeks. And we started a family quite quickly, but all these dreams, we started travelling, we did all that. We went to Canada and Australia, and we went to lovely places, and we paid a lot of money for that and worked really hard for it. And then that started to slow down and diminish, because with each child we had 3 then, the finances took the toll. And that was quite hard because, you know, you still want to have the holidays, you still want to have the going out of, you know, the meals, you want to go out with your family and share those sort of experiences, but we had to cut back like everybody else, and that was quite hard. So that's when the clean easy came into play. So we stopped dreaming a little bit, and that's when I sort of started doing direct selling, which was then, I didn't go back to work having had the first baby, and childcare fees were expensive. You know, having one child, we could afford to go back to work, but with 2 quite close together, we couldn't afford it. So I had a few years off, and it's great being a mum. I'm not saying that it's wonderful being a mum, but I was quite lonely. Bringing up 2 children, my husband being away quite a lot. You know, weekend was taken over by childcare activities, you know, the washing, the taking them out and that sort of thing. And that took over really, and our dreams did start fading away, and we couldn't afford to go abroad as much as we wanted to. And we did all that, and we shared all those exciting things. And then we had baby number 3, and I did Avon, so I started doing the Avon, and that was basically territory based. If you know anybody who's done Avon before, it worked great for me around the children, but I was so restricted on areas and I couldn't grow. So it seemed pointless, really. You know, it was you're just going round and round and not really going anywhere. And if your sales were low, they were low. You couldn't make them any bigger. So I wanted something different, and I was still looking. So I had that dream earlier on when I spoke to these golfers, and I knew where I wanted to go with it. I knew it was possible, but obviously this wasn't the thing. And then a Clean Easy catalogue came through my door, and I just ordered a couple of times, like we all probably have here. And there was a little advert on the front of it, so I filled it in. And a guy came and saw me and signed me up on a 50 kit. My husband wasn't impressed. I think he was more concerned really that, you know, I was doing Avon and Clean Easy, and I was also doing body shop parties at night time, just to get me out of the house. But he said, you need to do one thing really, and he was a bit concerned. But I did it anyway. And then within 9 months of being in the business, sort of playing with the business, I joined Clean Easy, got the bigger picture, but then we relocated with Mark's job. So we moved from Northwich, where we lived then, and we moved then to Wales, so we had to upstick everything. My husband was in Milan on business, and I literally moved then 3 children and a dog to Wales, and he basically said, I'll see you there. That was it. See you there. Like, okay. So the removal van took everything away, and we started a life again there. So I just dismissed Clean Easy then, to be honest. I wasn't really serious about it. I told the Avon manager I wasn't going to do Avon. It was a waste of time. I'm not doing it. So I decided then to do Clean Easy. But it took me 5 months out of the business really to get going with it. What I tended to do then is I started doing the Clean Easy business. I decided on one thing and started doing that one thing. And this part of the slides is building our dreams, because I'd got to that stage, started doing the Clean Easy quite seriously. And, you know, we wanted to build a business. So I was in the business 4 years at that point. Time had gone by, and I got to 15% level in the business on my own with no team members. I was just retailing and got more serious about it, put a plan in place. And this is what the strategy is about really. It's 20% skills and 80% strategy. It's just planning where you're going with the business and working at it. You know, we want a balanced business, and that's what we were striving for. So before Mark joined, I did the business for 4 years on my own, and I started going then to meetings when I was in Wales, started going to Birmingham, the NIA, and all the conferences, I went to Peterborough the other week to see Alan Pease, which is a fantastic guy. And I also go to Sheffield every single month. So the meetings are very, very important. So to get a balanced business, you just need to put a plan in place and take the action. And you need to really invest, like I'm doing at the moment, into personal development and reward yourself along the way. So goal setting is important, you know, and I think it is important that you've got that goal. We've all need a goal and a reason why. Mine's the children. You've all got reasons why you're in the business, and you need to strive for those reasons why. Set your goals and really go for them. You know, don't let anything don't let anything get in your way, basically. And remember that reason why, and revisit your goals. Mean it, commit to it, and make it happen, because it can happen. You know, I just plodded along with it first, and then I realised when Mark then joined the business after the NIA conference a couple of years ago, and he signed up, we both worked the business together. And we qualified for gold when I was 15% on my own, as I said. And when we went to found out the Miami trip was coming up last year, we set our plan straight away. We started team building quite quickly, and I got to gold in period 12. So you can do it from period 10 to 12. You can actually get a gold if you're at a certain level. You know, keep your eye on the ball, basically. So we took the time to build the business. So we planned it. We had maps on the wall. You know, get an area map of where you are and just target every single area if you're doing the retail side of it, and just be like a locus and work your way through it. As you're going through, you're going to get people that are interested, and they're going to ask you what you're doing with this clean, easy thing, and then just keep sending you information packs. And it's that compound effect. It really does work, but it's just a case of going out there and talking to people about the business as you're going on your everyday sort of thing. And really working the business, talking to people on a regular basis, be positive, keep focused, and the action, you know, will happen. The rewards will start coming into play as well. So retail, retail 4 times over 6,000. Our highest was over 9,000, and the top retailer in 5 and 7 in the Terrier group, which was really hard going, because you can value people, but you can't rely on anybody. So the Miami trip, basically, a lot of it was down to me doing the retail, because the team that I had wasn't really doing a lot. The first period 12 and period 2, you know, the team was there, and we did it together, but the rest of it I had to do on my own. So you can do it on your own, but it's tough. It's the recruiting side and bringing people in. So those are the trophies that I got, which, you know, hopefully they'll get more of those. Like I say, plan, never give up, and you must be persistent and consistent in everything you do. With my 4th baby, I was at hospital, I had a caesarean section, and I still had orders coming to my house 2 days after. I was still in my hospital bed phoning my customers. Oh, it's Vanessa. Oh, yeah, how are you doing, love? And they were all, oh, yeah, I've had the baby, yes, I'm out in a few days. I'll deliver your order next week. My husband's like, are you mad? You know, I was in hospital, but I had my room on my own. I thought, well, I can plan while I'm here. This is my time now to plan. On the phone, and people are like, she's bloody balmy, you know. And they were all just thinking I was absolutely off my head. My customers have stayed with me, you know, because of that, because they thought, God, she's got drive, she's got determination, she's got passion, she's persistent, she's consistent, she loves the business, you can tell she loves the business. And I do love the business, but you've got to be dead organised. You know, keep good records, that's essential, because people lose the plot. You know, people do lose where they're up to. And blanket drop new areas and still do your customer base. I know I've talked, it's a bit out of sequence that, but you can get basically, I've only got a couple of minutes. But you can see from there, you know, all the key things for retailing. That was my check, the biggest check I've had, which is a fantastic feeling to get that. I'd like them every single month. Thank you very much. But Clean Easies give me so much. I've got a very good, strong customer base. In fact, I've got too many customers. I've got over 1,500 customers, which is a lot. You know, I've lost 2.5 stone, which is great. Now my husband's like doing sit-ups and press-ups, and he's like a stick. He used to be 15 stone. And I think he's thinking, well, I need to lose some weight as well. And we're going to Miami, which is fantastic. We qualified in period 7, and that's just been fantastic. So these checks are driving us now. That's our reason why, because this money we can give our children a really good life. We go to France every year because of Clean Easy. That my income pays for that holiday now. So the last 4 years I've had a holiday cash, you know, instead of being on the credit card like we used to do. Everything went on credit card, but now it's, you know, it's cash. I can pay it cash, and I'm helping me, you know, my husband support the family, which he did for 10 years. Sponsoring is a massive key, obviously, for us. Revisiting your warm market, advertising in catalogues and the Easy Party. You know, there's a lot of information on there. Follow up quickly is the key. I was only getting 50 leads in a month. It wasn't enough. You know, I knew when I'd done the Miami, I finished in period 7, got it, did the qualification. Thank God it was over, period 7. My body was aching because obviously I did it in massive retail. You know, 9,100 retail in 1 month. That's a lot of retail. I knew I had to do £2,700 per week. So I had a target every single week and I was hitting it, watching the figures all the time. So speak to your upline about it. If you go for Dubai and the Maldives, you know, start now, you know, or last week, just start and speak to your upline about it, because you can do it. Everyone in this room can do it, and I'm certainly going for it. You know, learn, you know, get your car into a library situation. I've got loads of CDs and I've developed a lot. So I read a lot of books and listen to lots of CDs and keep positive. Cards and flyers, retail. You know, go on. I'm actually going on the Skype and the YouTube quite a lot, and going on Twitter. I'm learning the Twitter thing. Don't quite understand it like, yeah, but I'm getting there. You know, that's the way forward, and Skyping's great to keep in contact with your team. Personal development, again, national conferences, I love them, I go every year. I don't miss any. I was pregnant in January with my daughter when she was born last year, and people say, you're due in a couple of weeks. So, you know, we had snow ploughs out in Wales, and so I was in Wales going to Birmingham, and people didn't go, and I was like, why? You're pregnant? Yeah, but I won't miss it for the world. I won't miss it, you know what I mean? So these are important for everybody, and to go to meetings like this and study and read lots of books. 10 pages a day. There's my daughter Alice reading I Can, which was a great book. And I've read that, you know, go over books that you've not read for a while even. 45-second presentation, and there's lots of books out there. I'm sure you know about all the books you can read, but it is really worth it, because you're feeding your brain, aren't you? The more you learn, the more you're going to earn. And I didn't realise that, because obviously 9 months into the business it was a bit bitty, wasn't it? And then really the last 2 years it's really happening for me. So my future now, this is coming to the end of it. The future is, for me, I want to be bronze executive. I want to help people with their dreams as well. And my friend lives in Chicago, Julie. She's got her own business. She's been watching me on Facebook and she's seen me grow. And she said, I'm so proud of you. You know, to have someone to say they're so proud of you, because my friends were telling me back then, this wasn't possible. You can't do anything outside this council estate. You know, there's nothing for you there. And they see me now and they're like, they can't believe it, you know what I mean? But it's only because I've been positive and focused, and I know where I'm going. That's the difference. And you can too. You can, you know, if you know where you're going, just go for it. I want to go to Disneyland, and Dubai is the big thing. I'd love to go. I'm really working at that. So the new business is, I'm getting loads of people in. I always invest in my business. It was always on the catalogue side. I was always putting too much money on the catalogue side. You know, I wouldn't advise that. You know, some people are retailers, aren't they, which is great. But if you're going to go for something, and it's like the Dubai, the recruitment, reinvest in your business. I've never actually paid myself a salary. Never. In 5 years, never have. I've always reinvested the business, money into the business, whether it's cards and flyers, advertisement, you know, early days, you know, obviously on the retail side of it as well. But I've always put my money back in. I don't want it. I want my business to grow. And I know I'm going to reap the rewards. We've got all the goals in place, with, you know, the strategy, again, the planning, the action, and a balanced business. Make it fun, and be happy, and enjoy the ride. I'd like to finish with this quote from Walt Disney. I hope I've not gone too fast, Lynn. All our dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. So you go for your dreams. Thanks for listening. too. Bye.